Going through a quick trade review on BRCM, which I traded last night. That gave us a really good intraday flag pattern. Just having a look at the daily chart here, you can see we've been in quite a steady uptrend for quite a while. Been bouncing off the 20 EMA quite a fair bit. We've had a couple of red days as it's come down. It's pushed right through and came back to a level that last time it hit this level had a huge buying. So you can have a look at this big candle here. So basically we got down to a breakout level, so sort of support, resistance turn support. And if we have a look at this level, it's really quite significant. We can go down to the 1 minute chart looking at the pre-market. We had some quite volatile moves after close yesterday with quite a few shares being transferred. We've had quite a pretty big move over the pre-market and ended up being gapping down for the day. Generally when it's gapping down, I generally don't trade them, I only do when they gap up, but this one had some really heavy volume coming in. So you can see the opening range, first 2 minutes goes up nearly 80 cents. Then we get a couple of red candles coming back down, starts bouncing off the VWAP, still gets through there, starts bouncing off the 20 EMA, goes through again, quite low volume coming through here, but then we get the last candle gets a bit of buying come back in, and then you can see we get a little inside bar with quite really low volume, and then the next candle, bang, we get that breakout. So that's the first flag that came in for the day. I didn't actually trade this one. I wasn't following this stock yet. So as we go forward, we can see that we got a full retracement of that in that 1 minute 1 minute candle, came back down, retested that level, got bought back up. So as it's tried to tank, it's definitely the buyers have come back in again, and then as you can see we get a break, and then we nearly make it back to the opening range, which is getting to this 42.88 level, which is significant in the pre-market as well. We go up a little bit more, now we get sort of a bit of a pin, gets just through that level. The buyers aren't a huge amount of buyers here, but they're still hanging around. We get an indecision candle at this level. Buyers are quite small there. We get an inside bar. This could go either direction as we're looking. Then we get a huge amount of volume comes in. Still doesn't make a new high, but we know the buyers are actually behind it. And then bang, next one, all the sellers get out of the way. We get all the way up and break through that 40 up to 43.20, which is the pre-market high. From earlier on the day. Next candle, we've still got huge volume coming in. It's another pin, a bit of indecision comes in. Starts flagging a little bit here. So we see slow, small selling volume, but the buyers are still in there. It's at this stage here where it's now on my radar. So I've got just following the scanner from Daytrade Warrior on the surging stock. So this one you can see it's come on the scanner because it's really surging up. It's coming on huge relative volume, coming up, and now I've noticed that now just before 10 a.m. New York time that it's starting to flag, and it's flagging really well. So if I have a look at this flag, I'd say we're starting to look looking at a good level here. We're getting a good base. You'd sort of think that it's probably going to flag around about this 20 EMA here, and we'll see what happens. So it's at this stage now where I start looking at where my entry would be. You could see the volume that was coming in, and reading the tape and the level 2s, it just couldn't push past 43.15. It just sat there, and there was just thousands and thousands and thousands of shares being bought up there, but it just wasn't moving. I was at this stage that I was ready to make my entry, which I had my entry price at $43.20. So I wanted to see this area break because of all the buyers and not much movement. I just really wanted to see it push through this level before I was going to enter my trade. So we'll keep going. The next candle, we get a break all the way up to the 43.20 mark. So I was long then, and it came back down with a bit of indecision. This trade had such a tight stop, so my stop down here is down at 43.10, so it took a 10-cent stop. So you've got a fair bit of like a really low risk trade. So, and it's just flagging absolutely beautiful. It's probably nearly a perfect setup if there's such a thing. Then we get the break up through 43.20, and I'm looking to take my first profits at around the top of this pin bar up here at 43.31. So we'll just we'll go to the next one. It gets a break all the way through and actually take profits up here at about 43.47. Looking at the buyers are just so strong. The stock is just absolutely hammering out today, and the volume's huge. The relative volume's incredible. I get up here, we get through the 43.50 area. I'm taking profits around 43.60, so I've taken about half off here, taken off a quarter here, and then I'm sort of leaving the last little bit to see how far it can go. I've moved my stop now to just a live 1 minute stop, so I'll put it in there at 43.45 for the remainder of my position. It actually came down and I didn't see it. It came down too quickly, so I didn't actually get stopped out on here. So I was still in this trade as it went up here. When it came up to the first red bar, I exited, so I took the rest of my profit off down up at 43.64. So that was the end of my trade here. Looking at the momentum, like there's every possibility that could keep going, but I believe that if it's given you the profit, take it. So I've had the one pullback, the second pullback, the third pullback that happens generally isn't going to be bought up as much as what it is. The first and seconds are generally the biggest money makers, and then the third one sometimes they start retracing a fair bit. So I'd rather come out and get my profit. If it looks like it's flagging really well like this was, then I jump in again on the break. So this one you can see it keeps on moving, goes up to 43.80. Start getting a little bit of top here at the 43.80 mark. Keeps going up, and then we get our first sort of significant candle that comes down and breaks sort of lower there, and comes back down my original stop mark. Just testing. You can also see it's testing off the 20 EMA. Then we get a pin. Looks like it's going to make another run. It's flagging a little bit here. Sort of makes a lower high. So as you can see, it's starting to accumulate. The volume's dried right off. Now we're starting to see some more sellers come in, and then we get a bit more sellers, but it's still selling on low volume here. But a lot of people are just taking profits because it's been such a big move for the day. So we get huge selling volume here, which is one of the signs that people are starting to really unload their shares. It's still moving up. A lot of people are still trying to buy these breakouts and keep going. I'm out at this stage anyway. Makes another run up. And slowly creeps down for the rest of the day. And as you can see on the daily, if I remove all these lines from here, you can see it opens, moves up, pushes all the way up, and then reverses all the way back down for the day. But other than that, it was definitely a really good day, and definitely good setups and just perfect flag patterns that you can get. Looking at the 5 minute chart, it's also you wouldn't have seen the first flag pattern. This is one of the reasons why in the first sort of half an hour to an hour use the 1 minute chart. It gives you good opportunities. Second one, you can see this tiny little inside 5 minute candle, and then boom, that's our leg up that I traded and made money on.